Okay, here we are again, and we are in the shadows of the Bells of Bow. The main road there, this is Cheapside. This was like the high street of medieval London. And the church behind us, this is St. Mary le Bow. There was a Saxon church here, but it was when the Normans came, the Archbishop of Canterbury, he built this fine church behind us. And it's called St. Mary le Bow because it's on very marshy ground. So they had to make the crypt with a bow roof to add stability to it. And it is still here to this day. Now, there's a very famous saying, if you're born within the sound of Bow bells, you are a proper Cockney. Now, I was born in East Ham, and a bloke in a pub told me that in 1957, when I was born, there was less noise pollution, and the bells could be heard from there, but I can't swear on it. Now, the reason for these bells is, I think it's a lot more interesting, really, because at 9 o'clock, the bells of Bow Church would ring, and the gates of the city were closed. Remember, it was an enclosed city, and people were required to put out their fires. Houses were built of wood in those days, and fire was a terrible danger. So when the bell rings, the doors would be closed and the fires would be put out. And of course, the bells of Bow are famous because, of course, Dick Whittington, when he'd just about given up all hope of making his fortune and was walking up through Highgate, he heard the bells of Bow, and the bells of Bow were saying to him, "Come back and you will make your fortune, don't give up." Now, of course, there's a famous nursery rhyme about all of the bells of the churches of London. When it comes to the bells of Bow, the bells say, "And the bells of Bow, I don't know." This is what they say. It's not been a terribly lucky church. In the Great Fire of London, it was destroyed and it was rebuilt by Sir Christopher Wren. And then again, during the Blitz, it was destroyed in 1941, and it wasn't rebuilt for another 20 years. But thankfully, this main part here, this white Portland stone, this is what remains of Wren's handiwork. Now, this is called Happy Histories, and okay, now this, it might not sound terribly happy, but in the Middle Ages, under the reign of Edward III, there was a celebration here. They had a jousting festival to commemorate the birth of Edward the Black Prince. And there was a jousting tournament, and carpenters, they put up a stand for people to watch this tournament. But sadly, the stand collapsed and people lost their lives. And Edward III, he had a terrible temper, and he wanted to execute the carpenters who'd done such shoddy work. But Philippa of Hainault, his wife, she insisted that mercy be shown. Now, this is the same lady who saved the burghers of Calais from being executed as well. So she was a bit of a saint, that woman. Another thing about this church, in London, we have got countless churches, and a lot of them, they are used by livery companies. And this is the church of the cordwainers, the leather workers. It was cordwainers after Cordoba in Spain, which was famous for its leather work. And one of the parishioners here was this gentleman here, Captain John Smith. And he went out to the Americas, and he was actually captured by a tribe of Indians, and they were going to execute him. But there was a lovely girl, a little bit like Philippa of Hainault, and she went to her father and said, "Please, Father, don't kill this man, spare his life." And his life was spared. Now, I'd like to think this chap would be Mr. Pocahontas, but he wasn't. She came back and she married another gentleman called John Rolfe, and they lived in Deptford, but sadly she met an early demise. But this is a lovely church. It's very well worth a visit. And you can sit here and kind of meditate on what it means to be a Londoner. Okay, thank you for watching.